So as Lester would have said it when we were finally able to do the Pacific Standard heist in GTA Online, the one we've all been waiting for, the Declasse Vigero ZX, based on a Camaro, and we'll get into more of that later. And I can say that this car definitely did not disappoint, as you'll see as this video goes on. This is a buying customization and review, and this is also a vehicle that's part of drip feed content from the Criminal Enterprises DLC. As always with these videos, let's start off where you can purchase this vehicle, and that is from SouthernSanAndreasSuperAutos.com for $1,947,000. If you have GTA Plus, you can get it for free. I don't necessarily agree with GTA Plus. I have it more for the special clothing unlocks that I've been collecting for years now, and that I post on my social media sites. As of the week that this car released, which is September 1st to 7th, you can also purchase it at Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsports showroom. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do right now. So the real life version of this vehicle is based off of the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. I'd say really any of the models from 2017 to current. Let's utilize the remote functions for this vehicle, get a more closer, in-depth look at it. And as you'll see, we have a detailed engine, especially with the engine block there. It has the Class A on the side, similar to where you'd see Camaro on the real life Camaro engine models. So I thought that was cool. We have the interior there, and we're going to take a closer look at that. The trunk, not really too much to see there. But one thing that is cool as we get inside the vehicle here, the interior is very similar to what you'd see on the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire, as well as the Bravado Buffalo STX. However, the main difference is there is a digital reading for the miles per hour. A couple more things worth mentioning as we wrap up the pre-custom first look of this vehicle. The headlights appear to be based off of the facelifted 2019 Camaro. The wheels are similar to what you would see on the 2018 Camaro ZL1 1LE. And it's cool that these exhausts have a vibrating feature to them when the vehicle is on, which isn't something we haven't seen before. The Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire, as well as the Bravado Buffalo STX, also have that feature. However, it's only on the stock exhaust, where with the Declasse Vigero ZX, as we'll see with the customization, it's all the exhaust. So even if you add a non-stock exhaust on, it's still going to have that vibrating feature. And lastly, we have the headlight and taillight features. The high beams, nothing too special here. However, as we'll see with the customization, there is some bumper options that adds an additional high beam light on. And then we also have our reverse lights, brake lights, and tail lights. It's kind of cool how the reverse lights are inside the tail light and brake lights. I think that's cool. That's pretty much everything for the first look here. Let's go ahead and check out the customization for this vehicle. Here's the customization. As I've done with past videos, I won't talk for all of it, but I will highlight options that stood out to me and have them timestamped in the description in case you don't have time to check out all of the customization. Starting with the bumpers, notice how a handful of these add a second lighting feature that acts as the high beam. And with the trim fit diffuser and the carbon fit diffuser, this seems to reference the 1LE version of the ZL1, which is a track package or track specific version vehicle. So I thought that was pretty cool if you wanted to go for more of like a race car version of this vehicle.
Life is hard when you can have anything. If you can think it, I can do it. Now that's some kind of engine.
These Hexagon double exhausts definitely stood out to me as being more unique or uncommon as far as the shape of these exhausts. However, the double exhaust options that we have for this vehicle are definitely what you would see on the real life Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 and 1LE models, which, as stated earlier, this vehicle seems to be more based off of.
No rush at all.
The honeycomb grills seem very similar to the stock grills on the newer Camaros, where the black GT grill, I believe, may be an aftermarket grill. Nonetheless, both the honeycomb and GT grills seem very similar to real-life Camaro grills. The hood options definitely reference a handful of the real-life Camaro models, starting with the first 5 here. They reference the ZL1 hood. Quite literally, the hood in game says VL1 on it, which makes it pretty obvious right there. The aftermarket hoods seem very similar to the 5th generation of Camaro's hoods. Definitely a time where Camaro had a huge makeover. The race hoods seem like ones you would have seen on the Camaro SS and
Making
LT
this sound
models,
stressful.
starting at the 6th generation of Camaro, so like 2016 to 2018. And then we have the street hoods, which are more like the current SS and LT models. We have a cool hood that you can also see into the engine. And then I want to say the rest of the hoods, honestly, are more of like aftermarket hoods. I put some pictures up on the screen for ones I was able to find that were similar to them. But that is about it for the hoods there. Definitely some extremely cool
How many
options.
cars you got in this garage again? Pump pump. Enjoy. Do you need a drink? Bubbles
The
or
Bulko
something?
Racing livery seems to have a fun little fact to it. It seems to be based off the Irwin and Fuchs livery, which is from an Australian supercar team, specifically Team 18, so that's pretty cool.
Think long and hard.
The last two liveries, the Katana Racer and E99, are GTA Plus exclusive, so you don't have GTA Plus. That would be the reason why you wouldn't see these when you're inside of the mod shop.
Whatever you desire.
We
Technology
have
request
a good
permitted.
amount of Louvre options for this vehicle. I believe the most out of any muscle car in game, and probably the most unique looking as well, and should give you an advantage if you're being shot at from behind, either by a player or NPC.
Life is hard when you can have anything. Bodywork to match the
There are
driver.
3 respray options for this vehicle, starting with the primary color. The primary color covers pretty much the entire exterior of the vehicle, with the exception of the part of the hood that is right above the engine block, the front bumper, skirts, and rear diffuser. The secondary color covers a portion of the interior of the vehicle, which is the stitching around the front and passenger seats as well as the steering wheel, and then also if you happen to have any other secondary modifications applied to the vehicle. And lastly, we have the trim color, which covers most of the interior of the vehicle with the exception of the back seats. And
No
that is all
rush at
3
all.
respray options for this vehicle and what they control.
Making decisions is stressful.
The aftermarket spoilers seem very similar to a real-life aftermarket spoiler that can be applied to the ZL1, so that's definitely cool. And then the street spoiler seems very similar to the stock spoiler that comes with the ZL1 when you would purchase it.
Stick to the speed limit.
And my final mention for the
I'm joking, of
customization,
course.
the wheels to this vehicle or that come with this vehicle are unique, as in if you were to take any other vehicle
You're
to the
not
mod
gonna
shop,
get
you would
one.
not be able to apply these same wheels.
Looks almost as good as you.
So here's my personal Declasse Vigero ZX. For
Making
resprays, I added
decisions
a
is
primary
stressful.
metallic sunrise orange, pearlescent frost white, secondary metallic red, and a trim color black. For other modifications, I added a trim street bumper, a carbon diffuser, performance double exhaust, black GT grille, and carbon aftermarket
How many
spoiler,
cars you got in this
and that
garage
completes
again?
my personal Declasse Vigero ZX. Moving on to peak performance capability of this vehicle, starting with top speed. So I want to reference Bruffy 1322 as I've done with past videos because he's arguably one of the best car testers in the community. He's ranked this number 7 for top speed in the muscle car class. If you consider number 7, it's really above average if you were to consider there's like over 60 cars in the muscle car class. However, definitely doesn't make it all that great in the long run because it's still not going to be able to compete with the top tier muscle cars as far as top speed is concerned, such as the Bravado Buffalo STX and Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire. But nonetheless, like not horrible, but also not great. And if we consider lap time, which is arguably more important when it comes to racing over top speed, it is ranked number 4 according to Bruffy 1322, so a little bit better than top speed, however still not the best in its class, the muscle car class. It's still not going to beat out the Bravado Buffalo STX or the Vapid Dominator ASP. However, it does get better, at least for the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S players, and here's why. So PS5 and Xbox Series X and S players can take advantage of the HAL Special Works Performance Upgrade. It does cost an additional $550,000. However, if you do have GTA Plus, you can get it for free through that. There's 4 particular upgrades that will boost this vehicle's performance. That is the engine upgrade, the brakes upgrade, the turbo upgrade, as well as transmission upgrade. There are some other upgrades you can modify through HAL Special Works, such as spoilers and a suspension. However, it doesn't really do anything to boost the performance of this vehicle. However, the engine, brakes, transmission, and turbo upgrade through HAL Special Works will, and it will boost the engine power of the vehicle. So now with the HAL Special Works Performance Upgrade, this vehicle is the fastest in the muscle car class, according to Bruffy 1322. In fact, even if you just look at my comparison here between the Declasse Vigero ZX and the Bravado Buffalo STX on straightaway track here, Bravado Buffalo STX was the previous fastest car, or fastest muscle car in the game, and you can see that now currently the Declasse Vigero ZX is the fastest. It's just shooting way past the Bravado Buffalo STX. However, it doesn't stop there. Not only is the Declasse Vigero ZX the fastest muscle car in the game currently, but also the fastest car in the game currently. When the Criminal Enterprise DLC first released, the Benefactor Sterling GT got a How Special Works Performance Upgrade, which made that vehicle the fastest car in the game. However, that is no longer the case and is now the Declasse Vigero ZX. And it still doesn't even stop there. The Declasse Vigero ZX is also currently the fastest car in the muscle car class for lap time, and is all thanks to the engine power that the How Special Works Performance upgrades give, because it really doesn't even seem to take turns any better, or even arguably some could say worse than some of the other like best lap time muscle cars that we have in the game. Really, it's only because once it gets into those straightaways, it's able to shoot like a bullet because of these How Special Works Performance upgrades. That's really about it. The grip on this vehicle isn't the greatest. It's all just due to the top speed. In fact, I think it's very easy you can wipe out with this vehicle. But you can just see like a side-by-side comparison between the non-How Special Works Declasse Vigero ZX and the one that has the How Special Works. Obviously, you can see when it gets into those straightaways, that's when it really shoots off and it gets its edge, and why it's able to have just such that quick lap time. Now, due to the fact you can apply the How Special Works Performance Upgrade to this vehicle, if you happen to be joining a race that you aren't the host of, you're going to want to see if they have the How Special Works mods either enabled or disabled. Reason being is if you have the How Special Works Performance Upgrade applied to your vehicle and they disable the mods, essentially the vehicle is going to run like it would have, or have the performance it would have before you upgraded it with the How Special Works Performance Upgrade. So it's just something you're going to want to keep in mind when you're joining races that you aren't host of. And lastly for this video, the final review. So first off, as I've done with previous videos, let's consider the price. So the price for this vehicle is almost $2 million, and on top of that, if you want to get the How Special Works upgrades, you're putting in another over $500,000, plus you have to actually purchase the upgrades. You're easily putting in, with How Special Works modifications, as well as just the other, regular modifications, upwards of like $3 million in this vehicle, which is a lot, especially for a muscle car. Now, taking into consideration everything else with this vehicle, it does have a fair amount of customization for it. There's definitely a handful of options, plenty of options you can choose from, especially compared to other muscle cars in game. Maybe not as many options as the tuner vehicles in game or the other tuner muscle cars we have in game, especially because I know there's interior options for those vehicles. Nonetheless, it's definitely not too bad. We saw its peak performance. I mean, it's the best car in the muscle class currently, and also now the fastest car in the game. It doesn't really get too much better than that. And on top of that, I mean, it's a freaking Camaro. This is something that players have wanted for so long now. In fact, there's really only 3 to 4 other Camaros in game, one being the original Vigero based off the first generation Camaro in game, along with the Stallion and the Phoenix, all added on day 1 of GTA Online. And then the most recent Camaro that we got in GTA Online was the Nightshade, and that was all the way back in 2015, almost 7 years ago, which is just insane. So we've definitely been long overdue for a new Camaro to be added in GTA Online. So taking all those into consideration, yes, this is an extreme price for a vehicle, especially a muscle car, but I definitely think it's one of those more justifiable higher prices for a vehicle when taking everything into consideration that we discussed in this video. In any case, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it extremely beneficial. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share it. As always, have a great day.